For maybe the first time in Own the Chaos history, Brad has put a cheesecloth condom stock as one of his favorite picks. I opened up the watch list, so every morning we come together to figure out what the 5 stocks we're watching, and one Brad brought was none other than Tattooed Chef. Now, we need to talk about this because you have literally planted the flag with hate on Tattooed Chef, but now, according to the watch list, you said you love it. I feel like
I didn't say I loved it. Let's not go crazy here.
Yeah, it seemed like a low-key love. You put it on the watch list. That takes a lot for one of the 5 stocks.
Yes.
To be Tattooed Chef. So, surprise, surprise, hell is freezing over. Brad, what's up with Tattooed Chef? Why are you all of a sudden bullish on Tattooed Chef?
I feel good about the stock as far as where it's at this point. When people were asking me about Tattooed Chef at $30 per share, or we'll say $28 per share, even at around $25, I said, hey, listen, the stock is downtrending. It continued to just be an absolute dog. It's still not exactly doing great at this point in time. However, there are some key things that I think are worth looking at to potentially keep on a watch list. And no, I haven't bought this. I don't know if I plan on buying it. Some things have to happen in order for me to really consider doing so. But, when you look at competitors to Beyond Meat, obviously Impossible Foods comes to mind. Tattooed Chef is starting to grow, and they've done some pretty decent M&A down in the Southwest. They're appealing to the Hispanic crowd down there as well. They're starting to see some traction in that culture, which is actually pretty surprising. I just wouldn't have expected that, but it's happening. And so it's a $20 billion industry just down in that area. I think this could be something that starts to get some traction, and it already has. So look at the chart with me here, and this is kind of my case. This is really kind of where I started to see things beginning to develop, and it's not necessarily, like I said, something that this is very speculative, and I did put that in the watch list. But you look at this potential wedge pattern we're seeing. So the higher lows is what I kind of took notice of when I was looking at the chart here. You're seeing some lower highs, yes, but there's some consolidation here. This is what I would call a rising wedge here. So this is something that I think could potentially start to turn into a really good bull move if we see more consolidation through here. If this pattern continues to play out, I think we could certainly see a bull move on Tattooed Chef. I don't know if it's necessarily worth buying just yet. Like I said, I think that I would love to see some more consolidation, see if it consolidates some. We start to see higher lows even still, and this comes down to maybe come into that $21 range to consolidate before we see a nice decent breakout. Their last quarterly earnings were halfway decent. If we see another earnings call like that, I think that Tattooed Chef could end up having a pretty decent breakout.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, when I say cheesecloth condom, Stock Watch Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays, Brad typically shouts out a cheesecloth condom, and the reason why is he said these stocks are shitty, and they're about as reliable as a cheesecloth condom, which I've never seen those on sale, but apparently Brad thinks they exist. So basically it means it's a shitty stock. You're talking about the Nikolas of the world.
Yeah.
Have shown up on the cheesecloth condom, the Triple C stock of the week. So, Tattooed Chef. Now, I want to make a point, and I kind of say it tongue-in-cheek, because I think you're going to get a lot of heat on this.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to come at you. I think they're going to come with the emotion, and, I can already hear it.
Yes.
Brad, you're late to the game. Oh, jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, I've been in it since $3, and I whole accounted it, yada, yada, yada. Here's the reality. One, it's kind of sad. Because of the emotion that people invest in certain stocks. And what I was trying to explain to our level 3, which is our live trading in the morning, was people treat stocks like they're teams. And it's not a sports team, people. You don't have to live and die by a stock. You don't have to ride, through losses and wins. Ideally, with the stock, you ride through the wins. And so I feel like some people get into stocks and they treat them like they're their favorite sports teams. And come hell or high water, they just are married to it. And I think that's very dangerous. And so the lesson here is you can be bearish on a stock and hate it 1 minute, and things can change, and the next day you can love it. It's all about headwinds, tailwinds, bull bear case, and catalyst. And so this is a perfect example of you weren't a fan of it, you didn't see the hype. Catalyst came out through merger, through 2 acquisitions, and you looked at the technicals and you're like, okay, here's a catalyst. Let me do a little bit more due diligence. Then you checked out the technical chart. And then from there, you felt like your position changed. And that's normal and that's okay. And I think that's the sign of a good trader and a good investor, to be able to be diplomatic and not have confirmation bias, because you could have easily been on the other end and you could have been like, I hate this stock and it doesn't matter what it does, I'm going to always hate this stock. That's the reverse of, I love this stock, I'm going to love it no matter what.
Yeah, and you see that actually a lot with hedge funds. You know, hedge funds that'll short stocks, they'll short them into the ground. I mean, how many bigger names have we seen that just couldn't help themselves after Tesla's run up 800%? They were short at $200 and it ran to 800, and they're like, I'm still short on this thing. And it's just like, when are you going to give up? You know? So just understanding the dynamics of this. I mean, TTCF has corrected 30% from its highs, and they're continuing to grow. It seemed like this is an appropriate time to consider maybe looking at this as a potential buy. So not saying that it's going to, you know, light anybody's world on fire, but it's looking like it's in an area in which it's corrected enough to maybe consider getting into. So that's why I decided to put it on the watch list today. I appreciate that. I really like the analogy of just not treating this like it's your home team, but actually being objective, and you're just trying to make money, not actually marry this thing.